for maybe when we're off the air.
Okay.
That fits the story that you just told us off the air.
Right.
About me on the north end of Flint, watching, fresh out of high school, maybe a year or two, watching Rocky 2.
Right.
I almost ran out of that theater when the film was over.
Rocky.
Anyway, I'll talk about it later.
Rocky.
Come on, everybody.
I've got a great one about Star Wars for later as well. I'll tell you that. It's just really
I got
funny.
a Star Wars. Everybody our age has got a Star Wars story. Everybody does. It's the way it works.
I think I must be disassociated from the industry that I reside in. I went some time ago. This must have been 25 years ago. There was a local Star Wars convention.
Okay.
And I'm in the queue, and it's a long queue, line for our American cousins. And everybody's dressed up, everyone's in gear. And I got there to the end of the line with my friend, and he went, "Wow, that's a long queue." And I went, "Yeah, I'm not staying for this," and I bucketed off. I wasn't having any of it. I'm not going to stand in that long a line. I don't care whether it's Star Wars or not. I'm just not going to do it.
I don't care what kind of movie this is. I ain't standing in line for an hour to see this stuff.
No damn way am I standing in a line for anything. See you later. My life is too short for me to stand in the queue. So
this is way back in the 70s now. I went to when 50 pence was a lot of money.
Whoa.
I was 17 and I went to see The Godfather. And the local pictures, the theatre.
So you technically weren't allowed to see it then?
Well, I did. Well, I didn't. I'll tell you. And I knew that the price.
Russ, you get hairlines like ours. Nobody checks your age. I figured that out when I was 17.
I had a lot more hair then.
Well, they look at your hairline. They go, "Go ahead."
Well, I went to the picture house and they said. I knew it was. I'd been the week before to see. I think we see Dirty Harry or something like that, and it was 50p. So I had 50p because that's all I needed.
Yeah.
So I walked about, and as I was going, my dad said to me, "Do you need any more money?" I said, "No, I'm okay, thanks." So I walked. 50p. Yeah, I've got my 50p, and I walked about 2 miles to the theatre. Right. Nothing when you're 17, is it? Nothing. Walked to the theatre, went in, and it said the prices. It was 55p. It had gone up. So I said, the guy says, "What do you want a ticket?" I said, "It's gone up." He said, "Yeah, it's gone up since last week." I said, "Oh, I'm not paying the extra for that," and walked out. And then went back the following week with 70p just in case.
Just in case you had 15p for the popcorn
again. Everybody's going to see the movie. Let's charge more money. That'd be great. Come on in, everybody. We see you out there. The chat's open. We're talking. Come on in.
Well, they didn't have popcorn then. It was sensible. You could listen to the film without somebody behind you munching and grazing and messing about.
I went to see Star Wars opening day here in Flint. One theater had it, and at the time we had I had 8-9 theaters around. One theater had it. The line was long. I cut out of, I ran out of high school. It was my senior year in high school. Never forget it. Stood in line, waited for that movie because they said it was a great popcorn film. So I said, cool. So I bought a big tub of popcorn. I went in with everybody else. We all sat down and started watching the movie. And as soon as that Star Cruiser comes over the top, I sat there in awe with my jaw on the floor. And I didn't come out of it until the Death Star blew up. And the guy behind me jumps out of his chair, jostles me, pretty much out of my stupor of watching this unbelievable movie. And starts yelling, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And it's like, all these guys are dead, yeah, And I look down and I've still got a full tub of popcorn between my legs. And I mean, it was a big
I did the same with that film.
And I'm like, holy crap. Yeah.
We didn't have popcorn, but I remember back there used to be those things called, I think they were called tiger nuts. They were salted peanuts. They were absolutely brilliant. I bought a big bag of those. And I did exactly.
I could tell by the expression on Russ's face, they must have been good. He goes,
I did exactly the same as
tiger
you.
nuts.
I generally, when I go to see a movie, if I get popcorn, I've eaten it before the film comes on because there's all the adverts and all that sort of stuff.
Many adverts.
Anyway, but there were no adverts in these days. They went in there, and when the theatre went dark, the film came on rather than an advert for 6 other things and all that. So I've got this big bag of nuts, and I opened them, and then the Star Cruiser arrived, and I just sat there. Yeah, and I didn't eat any until at least halfway through. I didn't even know they were in my hand. It was so incredible. That beginning, that introduction is so incredible.
I can't go to the
that's
cinema
how
anymore.
impactful that film was.
I can't go to the cinema anymore because I'll end up in a fight.
Yeah,
people just make so much noise. Last time I was in the cinema, I told a couple of millennials to shut their effing phone off.
Yeah.
They weren't very happy about it, but they felt threatened enough to shut their phone off. But I'll get in there and tell someone to stop it, and it'll just end up in a Barney because it's just people are so disrespectful.
We will definitely have to continue this discussion on Sunday for our Sunday Funny show.
Exactly.
Because I have entitled the show, don't take offense, I have entitled the show Old Farts Talking Comedy.
Right, well, I'll save my other Star Wars.
We should save all of those stories, all of our movie stories, all of our comic stories. We're here to look at some great Brian Bolland artwork. We're here to start the Comics by Night. We're glad that you're here. I see there's a few people in the house. Don't be afraid to jump into the credits or jump into the chat. Let's go have a discussion and watch some really great artwork here. Here we go. Here's the opening. As soon as I find it. Here we are, the opening.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with the...
The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors.
And if you want more about our positions, you need to watch our other channel on YouTube called Indie Comics Network After Dark. We're not on that channel, but you might want to watch that channel. John Celestry's over there doing great stuff. I'm not sure if he's talking about his positions either, but he's showing off some great artwork over there. Today, we're going to be looking at Brian Bolland. I was going to open, I've got a little political film I wanted to show off. I think I'll save it for Sunday.
Yeah, save it.
Just a couple of minutes. Yeah, we'll save it for when we're talking comics, but it's a great little political film. So anyway, we're going to look at Brian Bolland stuff. We're going to blow you up there, Big Russ, and we'll let you take it from there.
It's the cover.
We're just going to sit here and drool. Look at that, folks. Brian, any history on Brian you want to talk about?
No, I mean, I don't know a lot about Brian Bolland, to be honest. What a fantastic intro that is.
I thought everybody knew everybody over there.
Well,
no, just kidding. Just kidding.
I know that Brian Bolland knows the Queen.
I first saw him obviously in 2000 AD, like everybody else did.
Me too.
And that was a real I'll call it another Marvel impact, wasn't, when Stan and Jack were there in the mid 60s, there was that like wow. And when we had Carlos Esquera and Cam Kennedy and Steve, is it not Steve McMahon? Mike McMahon, Mick McMahon.
Steve Dillon.
Mike McMahon.
Yes, sir.
I'm never sure how to say his name.
Yeah.
And out of respect, I won't. But I love his artwork. And Kevin O'Neill, obviously.
Kevin O'Neill, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All these. And Pat Higgins. No, not Pat Higgins.
Not John Higgins.
John.
I ran across 2000 AD because of my love of Star Wars, which is what we were talking about earlier. I picked up a Fantastic Films magazine that happened to have a stray article in there about this English comic called 2000 AD. And I'm like, I got to dig that up. And I was working at a chain of bookstores at the time and had a guy literally bring in a grocery bag full of the stuff. and say, hey, you think you might want to read these? And I went, heck yeah, I want to read these. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
A
Dave
whole
Gibbons
set of
is just the
prods.
name.
Yeah.
Dave Gibbons was the name I was trying to remember.
Yeah, Dave Gibbons. This artwork that
Gibbons.
he's showing here.
Yeah.
It's a lot more cartoony, isn't it? It doesn't seem as tight.
I think this is just a really blown up panel.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll find.
Right.
This is about economy of line. This is something that Bolland does probably better than anyone else, I think. His work, you look at it, and all you need to do is just look at the cover. You look at that and you think, oh my God, look at all the detail in there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some detail in there, but it's just so well put together.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's just every line makes an impact. Every line.
Yeah, that drawing. Look how ripped Dredd is under his tunic.
Yeah.
With his ribs. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah. and the jaw and everything. It's just fantastic stuff. And that was some way into his work on Judge Dredd. That wasn't an early one. So, but yeah. So I agree with you, Glenn. That first time you saw a Judge Dredd, you saw a Brian Bolland piece, you were like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah,
this changes everything. And there are a few artists you can punctuate the whole of comic art with these artists that you're not the same after you've seen their work.
That's what we all hope to achieve.
Yes, exactly. That's what we all hope to achieve. Yeah, there you go.
I went to a convention in '84 in Birmingham, and on the table, on the panel, was Dave Gibbons, Alan Moore, Brian Bolland, and I can't remember a couple of other people from 2000 AD. I think Richard Starkins was there.
Right.
And it was yeah. Well, it was like Kirby Lee, Sinner, Artie Simek, Gene Colan type of.
It was the UK equivalent.
Level. Yeah, level.
Yeah. No, it makes it. But there you go. We were talking about this earlier. It's the Apex edition.
So the size of it,
whatever that means. Thank yous there.
Apex is that at the top.
Cool. I'm Walter. Try me. It's like it's a little robot companion for a little bit of comic relief. And this is like a table of contents for the stuff inside. This I don't know if he's done. I presume this is all. This is earlier work from.
Is that from '83?
See the stipple effect.
Yeah,
there's a stipple effect on this guy's face that you don't often see. To be honest, on Brian's work.
What paper stock is that? Is it 200 gram?
What the book?
Yeah,
I think it could well be that up towards that thickness. Yeah,
it looks very thick. Yeah,
it's lovely. Wow. There you go.
Often I've said this before. Often the best parts of these pages, or the nice parts of these pages, are the where you see little numbers written on and little diagrams written at the top and. Change this, and
little bits and pieces.
And the fact you can tell they were shot off of the originals because of all the smudging and yellows around the
fact that the pages are yellow.
The pages are yellow, yeah.
I don't know what the original size was of this.
They're about,
I would say that's really close to original.
Yeah, they're about is it 11/18 the American size, because he was on that kayfabe.
So that's an A3 sheet I've got here.
Yeah.
So you can see
that's how they were working then.
That's probably what he was working on there.
Does it not tell you in the text?
No, I don't. It didn't. No, or I didn't spot it. So
look at his helmet on the top, on the left-hand page at the top. It's different. It seems different, doesn't it?
This is earlier work. Yeah. So he was much more rounded, and before Bolland got into his swing, as it were.
Yeah. The cool thing about Dredd is everybody really did their own interpretations of the character to start from.
Yeah, and it still worked.
And you could still tell who it was, no doubt. But over a period of time, they decided to get him settled into a basic look.
Yeah, because on his shoulder on the right-hand page, on the large drawing on the right-hand page, exactly there, that eagle now is as big as his head.
Exactly. Yeah, it's massive. Yeah. But I mean, look at the line work here, and his brush work as well.
Yeah.
It's a little bit thicker. He's still. I mean, this. I say this is earlier work by a year maybe. You can see how his characterization is developing. I mean, that's just beautiful.
Look at how the lettering is pasted onto the artwork.
Yeah, pasted onto the artwork.
Yeah, we said that earlier.
See some of it soaking through.
Yeah.
That's
it. We were saying earlier, Randy, when you nipped out before we came on, that look how somebody's tried to ruin the artwork, sticking the lettering on. They should have done it on the board.
Well, that's what sells the artwork, though, is
And
to know what the story is all about.
I mean, a lot of this looks like it's being done mechanically as well. The lettering.
It might have been cut out and pasted on.
I mean, you look at that. That's
This is probably slightly before computer lettering really kicked in.
Yeah, I mean this would have been late 70s. So yeah, it's before that.
78, 79, depending upon the prog number it was in. Yeah,
I think that's Richard Starking's hand lettering. To tell you the truth.
Right.
Oh yeah, could be.
Yeah. Well, okay, right. Yeah, genius level. It's
very much so.
Good.
Yeah. Yep.
It's beautiful piece here.
That's a little bit of zip work there, zipatone.
Yeah, I mean on all those pages there, he was
a little bit of grey tone.
Yeah, a little bit of grey.
Do you know something just made me smile there? That it was the absurdity of Judge Dredd. Look at that guy who's got hand grenade for an earring.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There were all these crazy things, weren't there?
It was
all
so
sorts of amazing touches. Yeah.
It was so subversive. I mean, the idea now, but we're wandering around putting trigger warnings on everything.
Right.
I was like, wow, I was 10 years old when I was reading this stuff.
Yeah, and anybody here in the States, you can pick up what they call Judge Dredd case files that has a good 50, 60 stories or segments of Dredd all together in almost like the old Essentials volume look to it. Just amazing stuff. If you've never read it before, you definitely need to read it.
And
we're gonna add Brian into the chat here as well.
Brian.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
Good
How
morning.
are you?
Glad you were able to join us this early in your morning. So.
Well, thank you for having me after 2 weeks of sleeping in. Good God.
There we are.
But yeah, it was incredibly subversive, and I mean the punk scene was big, and without wanting to upset American cousins, the British punk scene. Not American punk.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yep.
It was a different thing. Okay?
I don't take that as insulting at all.
No.
You know, the punk bands. To suggest that Blondie was a punk band is ridiculous. But there you go. It's just my personal opinion. But
you're welcome. We ran that disclaimer at the front, so.
This stuff, again, this is just
we all know Blondie was actually rap. She started rap over here. This is during the Cursed Earth run.
Part 3 of the Cursed Earth game inside. No, that's just the game inside of it. This was
isn't it?
No, I don't think it was. I think it's earlier than that.
Is it Judge Caligula or somebody?
That's that. Yeah, I don't think.
I think you're right, Glenn.
Is it? I thought that was the Jolly Green Giant.
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
That was during that. Wasn't that during that sequence in the Cursed Earth thing when they were having a whole bunch of commercial parodies like that Mickey Mouse?
Yes,
thing?
they're Speedy. They're the Alka-Seltzer kids.
Speedy Alka-Seltzer. Yeah,
we
Colonel
saw a
Sanders?
commercial with them a couple of weeks back. Yeah,
but
Colonel Sanders there as well.
Yeah, Colonel Sanders there. But they were constantly sort of nipping out into the Cursed Earth because it was a great resource for storytelling.
Well, the first series of that I thought was a long serial that Judge Dredd was traveling between Mega City 1 and 2.
Well, there was the Cursed. There was the Judge Child, wasn't there? Where he was going across the Cursed Earth to.
Oh, was that when it was?
And
okay,
I think that might have been it, and that was when he bumped into. And I think he ended up bumping into like a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Is that where they had the Burger Wars?
Yeah, they linked up flesh with it because it was the same Tyrannosaurus, I think.
Yeah.
So
look, Russ, just before you turn that page, Russ, that bottom page that with the scalpel with Dredd, that one.
Yeah.
Very Ron Smith.
Yeah, it's a little. Yeah.
But look at the combination there of cartoony, your incredibly recognizable commercial icon, and Dredd. Just amazing combination of stuff there.
Again, you have a deep dive into the, from an art perspective into the line work.
Yeah.
And it's just so economical. It's just put together so well.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives the impression of being hyper detailed. But again, it's one of the magical things about comic book art is you're filling in the gaps.
Absolutely.
It's just so well done.
And the use of that tone as well on Colonel Sanders' face, just as he's moving off.
Yep.
Here's
the Michelin Man coming in.
This is so cartoony.
Is that
the Jolly Green Giant? What does that say? It's the Judge Child.
That might be Tate Lyle.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right.
Well, and Mr. Peanut on the far left in the splash there too.
Planters Peanuts.
Yeah.
So it's Planters Peanuts. That's Tate Lyle. I just got some random banana man. got the Michelin tires here.
Mm-hmm.
Or Michelin, as they like to say in Europe.
Does that Prague 77? Is that what that note is on the left hand
Prague
side?
78.
78.
78. I saw an issue number 1 go for £3,500 the other day.
You're joking.
Really?
Yeah. £3,500. I had it. Damn it!
I've got some of these in a box, and
mate, if they're in good nick.
Oh wow!
They are getting crazy prices depending upon who's in it. So
again, some lovely use of.
We had somebody over here trying to sell Marvel English reprints of early Marvel material.
Really?
For like $300 a hit. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah,
I'm like, holy crap. I have a couple boxes of this kind of stuff, and I've been looking for my 2000s ever since.
I've got an original run of Planet of the Apes, British.
Right.
1 to 10. It's really, really lovely.
The ones that are really rare, from what I understand, are the Australian Planet of the Apes books.
Really?
Because the property was so popular down there, they did the entire run of Killraven and printed that in there and substituted apes for Martians.
Right, that was what that was all about. Right, because I knew that had happened. I didn't realize what the reason was, and it's because it was in Australia.
Yeah.
Australia.
Well, they were eating up Planet of the Apes at the time. So, and Marvel ran out of material. So it's like, well, let's just take this Killraven series and throw apes in there instead of Martians. It'll work. Come on.
Kids will never know.
Kids will never know.
The Australians will never know.
That's true.
But I have a friend, Mark, fellow artist, Mark Bloodworth, who is a really big Planet of the Apes aficionado, and he said those are incredibly rare to find. Again, look at that.
This is just
Dread and Shame.
Yeah, look at that body language.
Yeah.
This was the start of the Caligula thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was like the pre-runner.
What's the lettering robot there, to us?
Lettering robot is Thomas Frame.
Right.
He did rather a natty job. I mean, this lettering is so neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so neat.
Well, the books are just incredible. So, and the stories match the quality of the art.
Yeah.
That's Pat Mills writing, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's something you can never question about 2000 AD for its first 10 years, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
And that's quality throughout.
Yep.
It was just
and these were weekly too. These came out once a week, and they look like what we would have over here as the National Enquirer at the time. All newsprint, just enough color for the cover and the inside splash pages.
The thing that struck me as well,
just incredible.
The thing that struck
this is not you wouldn't automatically think Bolland. That's a bit sort of Gibbons. There's a little Dave Gibbons.
Yeah.
Little Alan Davis in that too.
Yeah.
Same school, same references, I would imagine. Yeah. Just beautiful stuff though. undeniable.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just everything about it. And of course, looking at it like this, you get. I mean, I've said this before, but as an artist, the stuff that inspired you as a kid,
Yeah,
you tend to assign a perfection to it,
and this is
and
still
it wasn't
the
perfect.
judge, right? Yeah,
Okay, it was imperfect. It's just it was great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and to be able to look at these things as objectively as an artist later on with their own career, okay, obviously not the career that Brian Bolland has had, or the depth and quality that he has, but still looking at it from an objective perspective and seeing where mistakes were made or things were done that maybe he wouldn't have liked going forward. And you just, it's even more inspirational. It's like that stuff we were looking at with Steranko. It's like there was some really like dodgy bits of anatomy every now and then, and it didn't matter. In fact, it made it even more impressive because you just knew these guys were just churning this stuff out, and they were doing it at such high quality.
So look at that guy on the third panel on the right there. He didn't even draw in all of his hair there in front. Right there. Yeah.
That's what happened to me.
He should have put a fez on him. He's got plenty of room.
That's right,
There
my
you
God.
go. Yep.
These people are failures.
Oh, look now. Look at that.
This is Caligula still. Yeah.
Yeah.
70. What's that? 98. Yeah.
That big thick line around.
Yep.
Which you wouldn't necessarily think of a big thick line on Bolland stuff.
I think he's finding his style.
Yes, you can see that.
You can see it. You can see the evolution of it. That line, that big thick line there, that holding line around that dinosaur reminds me of Chick Stone type of inking.
Yeah.
Massive thick line around this color.
Yeah.
But it really is the layers of depth.
Yeah.
Look at
fantastic.
That's what it is, because the guy on the left also has the same. I'm sure that's what Glenn was going to say. The guy on the left has an even thicker outline.
Oh yeah.
And if you look at the perfect depth from the gun barrel or whatever it is to his shoulder.
Yes,
it's a perfect distance. You understand what I mean? The perspective, it's a perfect distance. And his face, the way his top jaw curves round, you know he's got the back of his head there. Do you understand what I mean? Because the definition is incredible on that.
It's drawing through everything. It's understanding shape and volume.
Yeah.
And you can tell that art piece was designed to sell comics off the stand.
Yeah.
Just from the way it looks. Any kid walking in, especially their demographic, which was mostly male, would look at that and go, "Oh, this is cool. Look at this alligator alien."
Claw and fang will kill Dredd nicely. Fantastic bit of prose there. Onward, my beauties, sing while you slaughter. It's like this. This is what we were talking about the other day, having text bubbles on or part, even if you don't have text bubbles, having story on the front of your magazines, on the front of your comics. It draws the reader in. It's not just like a flashy image.
Yep.
The reason that we've got so many just sort of flashy images, apart from the lack of imagination, is also that it's just become a collector's market.
Yeah.
It's just, let's put a flashy picture on the front instead of, no, let's sell stories.
We had a discussion about that very thing last night on Comic Book Spectrum, that modern comic book covers are not trying to sell the contents anymore.
No, they haven't been for quite some time.
Yeah, well, that's a shame.
If you look at Watchmen, the story begins on the cover, doesn't it?
It does. That's the first panel of the story. Absolutely.
Yeah, it starts on the cover. Yeah, it's a great.
But the reason they stop
page for your money.
The reason they stop trying to tell the stories is they know that the majority of them books are slabbed, so it's just a pretty piece of artwork by a pretty artist. Doesn't even have to have anything to do with the story.
Well,
it's just a variant cover for everybody to chase after, like a baseball card.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what's the word of it? Shrinking returns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the American viewers out there, Star-Lord up there on the top of that corner, 2000 AD was so popular, they tried another magazine, another weekly called Star-Lord that they released for about a half a year or so, and then they combined it with 2000 AD.
Yeah.
And Star-Lord's where Strontium Dog came from.
That's right. And Roadbusters, which ended up ABC Warriors.
Yep. Yeah.
Is that
and that was I love that. I got Star Lord as well, and when it merged, I was a bit disappointed.
Is that Stan Lee running towards you there?
It does look
Could
like
be.
it, doesn't it?
It's either
that
like
could, because that's how Stan looked at the time.
It
Very,
looks
yeah,
like
that's very much how Stan looked at the time.
It looks like a cross between Stanley and Bob Redford.
And the car at the bottom, the truck at the bottom, really reminds me of the truck from Damnation Alley from the movie.
Yeah.
Just from the way it's made, the basic shape of it. The one in the movie had a lot more wheels to it, but it looks really close to it. It's very much a cursed earth vehicle.
I often wonder whether Pat Mills approached this thinking he was going to get closed down next week, and he just went for it. But because it was so successful, you know,
there's
non-dare call it treason. You know,
there's a great documentary over on Amazon Prime called Future Shock that covers that. That has some really great interviews with Mills. He didn't care. He went through and did what he wanted to do. He made it just like what Stan Lee did with Fantastic Four 1.
Definitely
and he wrote and did the book that he wanted to read.
It's a very good
subversive person, so that's what you got.
So he rang Jack Kirby and said, "Draw me the comic I want to read."
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go.
It's a very good documentary. Very good.
It is.
Well, and after a year, didn't Pat Mills do like the standard like Beano type of comic book for ages?
He was working there in the comics for a long time, and he said kids, especially the boys' magazines, were horrible.
And finally, if he gets a chance to do his own thing, like Stan Lee, he went for it. And
he was like, "Okay, guys, science fiction, boom, here we go."
One thing you can't see too well, because obviously we're on webcams and what have you, even high res ones, is the brush marks in here.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful to see this stuff, and it's so well reproduced.
Yeah, that's the thing. Bolland never took shortcuts.
No, not a shortcut kind of guy. He does everything purely digitally now. Has done for quite some time. Because I think it's because of his failing sight. Actually, don't quote me on that. I may be wrong, but that's what I thought it was.
And there's a Planet of the Apes ape down there in the corner.
Yeah. Well, they're like the guys from the Time.
More like Morlocks. Yeah, Morlocks.
Yeah.
Marv says, "Greetings, sinners, at work and sick right now." Oh, sorry, buddy. Woo, Russ is the captain of the ship today. See you later. Don't forget to like YouTube panel.
Yahar, me hearties.
Yahar.
Oh, great shot of that.
That reminds me, I need to fix my Facebook page here.
He was the hero of that story.
Is that Fergie or Fergie?
I always thought of it as Fergie, but I suppose it could be Fergie. I don't know.
Not to be confused with the lady from the Black Eyed Peas.
Or the woman that played with the idea of being part of the royal family.
Oh, that's right. That's true.
I'm sure it's Fergie. Yeah.
The former Manchester United manager.
Yes. I'm sure Fergie would have thrown his a football boot at you.
I'm sure he would.
Yeah. Well, but again, wonderful economy of line in there.
Yeah.
Just the form is just fabulous. This is great. I so many of these pages I remember buying. I remember having the book and just poring over them. Again, proper punks, as that can't quite see, but he's got chains in his mouth there. So
I was going to say, it almost looks like Clark Kent that they're dragging there.
Yes, it's.
I'll tell you,
surprisingly,
if this stuff would have been 30 years early in the United States, that Worthing guy would have had a ball with this lot, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That is Clark Kent that he's grabbing.
He'd have had a stroke.
Yeah.
And again, look at the wood grain. They're on the second panel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Behind Clark's head, Clark's hat. Yeah. Just beautiful.
Yeah.
No corners cut.
Lots of
you can see the chains in his mouth there. So.
Yeah.
There's lovely shot.
Look at that.
Judge Dredd there. The biker.
Just amazing. Yeah. Street gangs have lost their fear of us. It's time we gave it back to them.
He was Dirty Harry
in worth 100 punks.
He was Dirty Harry in a helmet.
Yep.
That's him. That's just like.
If you look, just before you turn over, if you look at the left-hand page, that top where he's holding Clark's mouth with the guy with the German helmet on.
Yeah.
Just look at the guy with the German helmet on in the first panel, and then just flick your eyes to the right to the next one. And it's a second in time, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
You know, it's just you understand what I mean? The way it's zoomed in, and he's changed his he's looking mean and not. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Strip the Crumbo and get rid of him.
He's got his Y fronts on there.
Even in the 21st century, people wear Y fronts. That's the other thing is like 2000 AD seems so far away.
Yeah. Oh, something I want to point out just before you go. See that fantastic drawing of Dredd on the left-hand page of this one. Yeah, look at his hand. Look at his hand. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that kayfabe thing with interview with Bolland yesterday, and I've always thought, and Brian said it, that Brian likes the way he draws hands, and I always think that he draws some of the best hands I've ever seen in comics. But if you look at that hand there, that's not a hand that is just got that line for the glove. That hand has got a glove on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No.
Not just that, but you can't see it on the camera. But if you go tight on Dredd's face there, that's got some of the most beautiful stubble texture you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
Just got the cross hatching going on there.
Yeah. And again, that is a classic page. That was a page that they reprinted in the Fantastic Films magazine, where they show off the capabilities of his gun.
Oh my God! You haven't got a chance of it.
This
simple twist of the dial on the gun into a heat seeker. Yeah.
Well, look at that panel to the left of that, the lower left-hand corner, where Dredd looks like he's smiling.
Yeah, it's like, have it.
I'm having fun.
Yeah.
That bullet bouncing off his helmet.
Yeah.
Hot shot. Dredd's lawgiver fires 6 kinds of bullets. The hot shot had a heat-seeking homing head. Just that middle panel, though. Just a little sliver of greatness right there where he's shooting that gun. Just amazing.
Oh, got some colour in this one.
Oh, look at that. Oh.
Looks like it's watercolours. I don't know.
Those buildings are really Akira buildings, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if Bolland did his own coloring on that.
He probably did. I know that there were. I know he did a lot for. Was it Deadline? He used to do covers for Deadline.
Oh right.
And the what was her name? Tank Girl. He did some Tank Girl stuff. Yeah.
Look at the way that handlebar goes right into his face to take you there. You know, doesn't let you go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
Now, was that used for a 2000 AD cover? I've seen the piece before, but
no idea. I wouldn't. It would.
I'd say that was a pin-up. I'd say it was a pin-up. There's no room for the logo.
Yeah.
No room for the logo, is there?
No, I suppose not. Forever Towers, just resting. That's where they froze people so that they didn't die. Kept them alive.
I think before Glenn was saying they used to hold off on the little names like that to catch it.
I was just going to say that
fresh out of the news.
Yeah, it was as if it was like a spit and image where there'd be a skit following the news about something that was on the news, 10 minutes earlier. And I remember one was when Wham were just coming out, George Michael, and it had Dredd going down the street in the Mega City 1, and on the buildings it said Andrew Ridgely block, George Michael block.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
And we only saw them on Top of the Pops last night for the first time.
It was so current because they were bringing it out every week.
Yeah, and the one that I remember the most is one Dredd story, and he was chasing some guy down Tariq Ali Alley. Terry Kelly's an activist or something, wasn't he?
And because they were printed on newsprint, they probably had a printing turnaround on this that was near instantaneous, like a newspaper.
Yeah, it was quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, this wonderful bullet going straight through his head.
Yep.
The glass coming out of here. Just fabulous stuff.
And he's still talking after he's been shot through the head.
Yeah.
Let's shoot him through the mouth. Shot him between the eyes.
Yeah, they shot Kennedy in the head. I don't think he said a lot when he was
No.
moving along.
It just shows you don't have to have a brain to talk.
But this was a homing bullet. So there you go.
Yeah.
You'd probably get somebody wanting to cancel that now, a homing bullet.
Oh, you'd never get away with it.
Yeah.
This, I think, is Dredd's one of the first things he did for 2000 AD, one of the first stories.
Look at
Like
this.
they started him off on Future Shocks, and then he did a couple of single episode Dredd stories before they gave him the larger serials. But
is that a wash or is it tint?
There's tint. This is tint.
Yeah.
And here is wash.
Right.
So he's using both. This is wash.
Depending upon the
this
effect
is
you
wash.
want it.
I can see the brush marks. That's tint.
Right.
This is tint.
That shows a lot of confidence because I know that with newsprint, wash doesn't always come out well.
No.
Actually, I think that might actually be a tint screen with white paint on it.
Like Zipatone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is definitely tone because I can see the line in the reproduction, but I can see the brush marks on this.
But it's also incredibly
definitely a
solid. The maybe dual shade then.
Oh,
Might be duotone board.
It's a bit of both, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's using a very light wash.
Yeah.
And a tone.
Well, that's where the double tone comes in. If you look at the I'm looking at the Titan reprint book right now on it. And
on this he's using
what it looks like.
Using both. It's
Yeah.
bonkers. Absolutely bonkers.
But then again, it's like Foggy London because you've got the Ripper guy with the bat coming at you.
This I've got
again,
this
just
in
phenomenal
one of the
stuff.
Titan reprints as well. So fabulous. This the characterization in the in the death guy here in the executioner.
Sweeney Todd's. More than that, he. Sweeney's a murderer. He. Sweeney Todd, the infamous London barber, but he died 4 centuries ago. Put this in your pies. And he finds out he's a robot. So,
they're all robots, yeah.
Yeah. Look at that Quasimodo there coming in on him.
This guy walking out with his head underneath.
Classic
the guy who's
being
been hung. It's just like chatting to him. Oh, good. Can I come down now?
Classic Beanie and Cecil there on the lower left. What the heck?
Yeah. Again, just wonderful framing there.
Yeah. It's phenomenal.
Beautiful. Lots of blacks in this. Like it's just gorgeous.
Well, I'm also looking at that left-hand page where Dredd's shoulder edges into the following panel, kind of guiding your eye.
Yeah. In, around.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he says, the bells, dong.
The bells. Classic.
Oh, yeah.
I just, damn it, I remember bloody having these.
Iconic right there.
Is that right-hand page raining?
Mm-hmm.
Is it supposed to be raining?
Yeah, it's rain coming down. Yeah. Looks like he's just used white out on that.
That's the eagle right there.
That's the one that I remember, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go, the judge child.
Wow, look at that.
There we are. Yeah. Beautiful.
It's a 14-year-old watcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, the economy of line that's going on this, this is bonkers. Absolutely bonkers.
It's the shading on that is amazing.
Yeah.
Look at that guy's face with that when he look that noose near his head.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. Oh. Who's written that one, Ross? Sorry.
Who was the writer on?
John
So-
Wagner?
Top right, is it? Yeah, John Wagner. Yeah.
At this
Yeah.
point, yeah.
I'm not sure Pat Mills wrote a lot of them, did he? I think he was more editing it. I'm not sure.
He was writing a lot at the early
Right.
days. He
I know-
created a lot of these IPs or
Yeah, I know-
co-created.
I know it
So
was,
script
him and
script
Carlton
robot was
Square.
John Howard.
John
Oh,
Howard.
John Howard was
John
both
Howard.
Mills and Wagner.
Right, there you go.
Right.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that was a pen name they used.
Okay.
Snap.
Well, the two of them probably shared writing duties on this was a long serial on that, right?
Yeah.
Judge Child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the major ones, like Judge Caligula and the Cursed Earth, or the wasn't it Cursed Earth that they called it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There were a
Yeah,
couple of
yeah,
long-running
Cursed Earth.
serials at that point. Caligula especially ran half a year, if I remember, 26, 29
It went a
episodes.
long way. Yeah.
29 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
Ended up Ian Gibson, I think, did a lot of that work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just beautiful.
Nice.
Look at that face.
Look at him below it, where he's on the chair. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's like a Joker, isn't it? That
Yeah.
maniac.
Turned him round. Dun, dun, dun. Stretched.
Anything to report? Is that Lopez?
Yep. That'd be interesting to see how he achieved that. If he did,
Yeah.
if he stretched it or he
Yeah,
drew it like
I
that.
was wondering about that. I'm wondering if he drew that or sketched it and then did something so that he had the appropriate proportions.
Oh, it's beautiful. Though.
You got Stan Lee bound there again.
What a great, yeah.
1980, look, 9th of August, 1980. Wow, it's 42 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And here they're merged with Tornado now.
12p, yeah.
Yeah.
Tornado was like a war comic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
More of a
Yeah,
tame
I think you're
boys book than 2000 AD, yeah.
Yeah.
Had all sorts of different features in it as well.
Oh, look at that. Look at those cuts in his legs. Look at that.
Jigsaw
Amazing.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jigsaw
Wow.
Man, missing pieces.
Look at that.
It's a bad case of jigsaw disease. Thanks, Doc.
He thinks it's funny.
But
Look at
I'm
his,
going to pieces. Yeah, I think the doctor there's kind of a smirk on his face, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, bloody humans. You come out, you throw yourself into the void. No thought for your personal injury.
that cut in his head isn't so obvious. You think it's his hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you start looking down and like,
And his chin as well. He's got a little bit of
yeah.
chin missing as
oh,
well.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
This,
And his
this
fingers
is such
come
a
off.
clever incise there. This bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
Great
You
hands as
see
well.
more of the chin there. Yeah, the hands, beautiful. Never knowingly overdone.
Mhm.
I think that's what it is. It's looking at his artwork. You always look at it and think, oh, look, man, look at the detail, look at the detail. And it's like, it was never overdone. It was always just right.
And again, as I said before about the gloves, look at his underpants. The way
Yeah.
person is wearing those underpants. They're not just sort of
Yeah.
drawn. They are drawn on, but you
Yeah.
understand what I mean. It looks
Yeah.
like he's wearing.
Well, comics nowadays, they'd be outlining his wang.
Yeah.
I'm afraid so.
Walter the Woebot.
Yep. And Walter,
I'm
try me.
Walter, try me.
This
That's
planet's
these guys in the background. They all
Planet.
look exactly the same. This guy's got tights on, and this guy's got a skirt. And it's just so funny. The
Planet's
humor,
going to pieces. Yeah.
the humor in 2000 AD, just off the charts. I mean, again, look. This reminds me a little bit of Dr. Zeus.
Yeah. Yeah.
These guys.
It kind of ties back to the first Esquerra drawing of him driving through Mega City as well.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of look to it. And just trying to show how bustling Mega City 1 is.
And that
Yeah,
eagle's
crowded.
getting bigger, isn't he?
He's not overdone these bricks.
Yeah, it is.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Oh,
And then
yep.
the lines on here, the lines in there, just gorgeous. Lovely line work. Wow.
There you are.
Look at that. Part 18. Wow.
They had a couple of them run quite long.
Yeah.
There you go. That's from the
There you
front
go.
page.
Yeah.
Although they obviously couldn't get the text of it.
These blocks are under arrest.
And this is what they did, this Jigsaw man, because he went off world, didn't he, to look for the Judge Child as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He went out into space, so you got to see lots of different worlds, and the Angel Gang were kind of chasing him as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Look at the shadow on that panel there. Sorry, Russ.
Which one? This one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look
Look
at
at
that.
that. That's beautiful. And then finally, just like he pops out of existence.
That thing there with the mouth at the bottom reminds me of sort of an old Superman, Kurt Swan type of idea that they used to do. I don't know. I'm probably wrong on that, but it just seems that kind of thing. Look at that. Talking to the mouth.
Don't talk to the hand.
Yeah.
Evil. Pop.
Back in Mega City 1. Look at that forced perspective there on those buildings. Just
Incredible. Isn't it?
It's great.
All the black. You know, look at the ink laid down in that. Good Lord. How brave. Sometimes you just think,
look at that.
Yeah, gorgeous.
It's fabulous, isn't it?
And that, again, is perspective.
Yeah.
Nijinsky trucking. What reference that is? Nijinsky trucking.
Yeah, something. He did like drawing those kind of hats as well.
Yeah.
Those kind of Russian hats. Go look at the Killing Joke and the guy that he left in the park, in the theme park, who was dying.
Yes,
he had a Russian hat on.
When he got in with the hand thing.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Boom. There you go.
Yeah, there's some perspective.
Just think if that had been Marvel, it would have had pow, boom, crack, bucka, budda,
Depending upon the era it was from, more recently, it would have the whatever comic craft blam, 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 blam.
Oh, yeah. It would be very
horribly massacred. Yeah.
I always thought in those, I think it was Sergeant Rock, you could always tell who was firing because the Japanese machine would go rat-a-tat-tat and the Americans would go budda, budda, budda.
This is that panel. You know, we were saying at the start, it looked a little bit more cartoony and open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there you go, which is this.
Yes.
All right. That's actually that panel there.
Oh, right. Got you. Yeah, got you.
You
blown
can
up.
see, this is what it looks like when it's blown up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Incredible.
And it's that panel.
Is that Nick Fury?
It does look like it. I think it was Judge Griffin.
Right.
Judge Griffin was the he because they once Caligula was taken out, they used the judges from the they used like the teacher judges. A lot of them had been injured, so they had like one leg or they had an eye out or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you had the option of doing the long walk, didn't you? As a judge, you could go out into the cursed earth,
Right.
and finish off your life out there. But you could also teach.
Right.
And Judge Griffin was one of the teachers, and he ended up being the chief judge, I think, if my memory serves me.
Well, he looks like
It's been a long time since I've read the story, but I'm pretty sure you're right. Yeah.
He looks like Nick Fury's lost twin brother.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. That could be Nick Fury there, couldn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Well, absolutely
Needs more stubble though. Needs more
beautiful cross hatching in here
Yeah.
and lighting. It's just,
Beautiful.
I mean, I'm showing this here. It's a nice big page, but you can't do it justice. Go out, find it, buy it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily this book, because obviously this is expensive, but go out and get a reprint, you know, whatever you can find, go find it. Because it's, you know, if you're into If you want to draw, if you want to ink, this is, another one of those artists who just by looking at their work, you're being instructed.
And the cool thing with those case files they're available over on Amazon, they're like $25.
Yeah.
And you end up getting a couple of years at least worth of story. I think 120 different installments.
I've got a whole bunch of Titan reprints back from the early 90s. So I've only got like one of those case file things. But I know that if I start buying them, I'll get sucked in.
Oh, not only and they don't just do Dredd, because the way the rights situation set up here, you have to secure an IP and then print an entire volume of it. But there are collections of Strontium Dog, Flesh, Nemesis, Robo Hunter. There's just a ton of different ones. Rogue Trooper, just amazing runs in big thick books of these kind of IPs. That Judge Dredd was only one out of like 6 chapters that were in each issue of 2000 AD, and every last one of those IPs in that magazine are well worth reading, done by just master classmen.
You got like 5 or 7 pages, didn't you?
Yeah.
Depending on
every
whether
week.
Depending on whether you got a double page spread to open it up or not.
Yep.
And Judge Dredd tended to get more than anybody else.
Yeah, he usually landed in the middle because he was the most popular.
Yeah. And then you get like 2 or 3 pages of Future Shocks.
Yep.
Which
just
were
to
always
fill in.
great fun.
Yep.
Now there's something special coming.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is special in itself. This cover is fantastic. Okay, the off angle and everything about it, the way the ice is, but this,
Judge Death.
Wow, wow. No, I don't think that's mechanical. I think that's some kind of stipple brush or.
I know what it is. He mentioned it on the program. It's he got a piece of Hessian and he just dipped it.
Ah, right.
A bit of what now?
I don't remember if he said that, but that's what he said he used.
What did he get again?
A piece of Hessian.
What is Hessian?
It's like a material.
It's like getting a rag
like cloth.
Yeah.
So
okay. I used
like a textured cloth and just dabbed it.
Yeah, I don't get that obviously as nice as that, but I use sponges to do stuff like that.
Right, sure.
Yeah,
that's just stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Could
you imagine having that on your wall? Good God.
Imagine having that on your wall as a teenage kid.
Oh,
the life-size version.
Yeah.
Imagine having that 6 foot high on the door that you're facing as you open your front door, and somebody comes in and sees it just standing there.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm thinking of those old Frankenstein things by Jack Davis that they used to sell in the Warren magazines.
Yeah.
New from Captain Company.
Yeah. Great stuff.
Gorgeous. Right. We're up. What time are we at? 11. Right,
oh, we're good. We're only an hour in.
Yeah.
Not even quite an hour in. There we are. Boom.
This is one of my favorite sequences.
No, it's one of my favorite stories. Yeah.
Look at her face. Look at the fear.
Yeah.
That's straight out of a Hammer horror film.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
They're losing
they're
losing one of the panel or the captions boxes there down in the bottom.
Yeah.
Next prog.
I love the way that the sense of, or I'm getting a sense of the breeze with the way the flame is going over to the left. There's a breeze going along,
waving that way. I homaged a panel from this.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's in here or not. I'll show you in a sec. Oh, it looks like they've got quite a lot of this. This is great. So Judge Hershey.
Yeah.
Turning up.
So Judge Anderson, isn't it?
Judge Anderson, sorry.
Judge Anderson. She's part of the side division.
This is the Billy Carter block.
She was in the Carl Urban movie. Yeah.
Hershey was a brunette. Hershey was a brunette, and Anderson was a blonde.
Yeah, Hershey's back this way. We had her earlier. Does anybody know Rita Tushingham?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Okay. This is the Rita Tushingham block.
Right.
I noticed that earlier.
Yeah, that was one thing as an Anglophile living in America. Mostly what we had at the time were like some of the early Britcoms, and when they would have like the Reg Varney block.
Yeah.
I was the only guy in my area that understood the joke.
The Reg Varney block. That's fantastic.
Reg Varney.
And it's just that
there's the name that brings back memories.
It was so it's like it was so subversive. It was so on point. It was so brilliant.
Yeah.
The subtlety of this is lost on today's audience. Sorry, I'm sorry, guys. I
don't think you should apologize. I think you did.
I don't mean
you're dead on. You're dead on. That was part of the fun that I was having here at when I did Flint Comics. I was able to reprint the comic strip, and I never had anybody complain about it. And it was the most subversive thing that you'd ever imagine. None of the parents would ever read it, but the kids loved it.
Okay, Judge Dredd is a fascist.
Oh,
they are living in a fascist system. And you're there going, Judge, go get him. You're loving him. He's your hero. You love him every week. You love Judge Dredd.
I always used to think that Judge Dredd would be thrown out of the SS for cruelty.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
but look at that guy at the top right hand page there. That second again where he's got his mouth open and then he's got his dreads in his face
bumping into Death's face. It's like it's massive. And then the angle of how he's killed him.
Yeah.
What's he saying in that panel, Russ? What's he shouting?
I have come to cleanse you.
No, what's the other guy?
Martha, what's that racket out there or something like that? And he goes, Martha, of all the names. Martha, what's and he just comes in and goes, greetings. Absolutely brilliant. But so Judge Dredd was a fascist in a fascist system, and you were on his side. And it's like you're sitting there as a kid, even as a kid, you kind of knew what was going on in Britain at the time. You knew about the counterculture, you knew about punk, you knew about Maggie Thatcher and all the rubbish that was going on, and yet he was a hero. This guy was a hero, and it never occurred as a kid. You didn't think about the whole subversive nature of it or the politico aspect to it. It was just great fun. And that's what comics should be.
Is that Judge Anderson, the bottom right?
It is Judge Anderson.
She looks like Stevie Nicks.
She does a little, doesn't she? She's gritting her teeth a little bit there. So, an inking effect there. No nose. Yeah. Just the bottom of the nose.
Yeah.
Which is something I've been looking at recently and noticing about facial features and noses and all the rest of it. Is how much is drawn in and how much isn't by different artists.
Yeah.
And bearing in mind that this was never going to be in color.
Yeah.
And yet, just I ain't drawing a nose. I'm just putting the bottom bit on.
If you look back in,
the light on that is bright. I mean, the light's so intense, you're not seeing the bridge detail.
No, but still, you're having to fill that in with your own brain.
Oh, know? Sure, yeah.
If you look back to Steve Ditko's Spider-Man, sort of ruined by the color because the color would be flat on the face, and there was a lot of times when he left the nose out as well.
Yeah.
Well, same with Wally Wood.
A lot of the artists were like that. Yeah. Old Aparo, he would do just a quick flick on that brush, and you'd have a nose shadow underneath, and that was it.
This guy's face. So it's like all these people have got together to kind of beat back the dark judges, and you've got some old colonel.
Now this is the second.
We'll hold them off in Peanut Park. Because it's the Billy Carter block. It's like we'll hold them off in Peanut Park. Fantastic.
This is the second run of stories with this is the actual introduction of the Four Horsemen. There was a 3-part. The Dark Judges. There was a 3-part story before this that just had Judge Death in it.
Oh, just the Judge Death. Yeah,
that had Anderson involved.
Right.
Yeah, because she was ended up in a block of.
They ended up. What was really cool is that Anderson ends up trapping the spirit or soul of Judge Death into herself, and then they encase her in Boeing.
That's right. Yeah.
Which was a story that they did like a year and a half before that was a joke, one issue hit story that you wouldn't think anything of, where Judge Dredd was tracking down all these people that were encasing themselves in Boeing like a large ball and jumping off one of the buildings and causing so much havoc, bouncing through Mega City 1 until he tracked them down and basically shot the guys that were encased in Boeing.
Yeah.
They were able to trap the image or the spirit by trapping Anderson in Boeing and encasing her. Yeah, there she is enshrined, and Boeing was looked like a clear rubber plastic material.
So that's the first double spread of this the Dark Judges.
Yeah, and they had her in suspended animation there. Yeah.
Wow.
And so they got him out. They cracked it, and he came out.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get onto our pages.
Gets loose and then brings the Dark Judges in.
Yeah.
As well, and then they all wreak havoc on Mega City 1.
And I think that first one. There you go.
Yeah, again, that's what I've got.
That's Bolland.
Yep.
He painted that.
Yeah.
And you can't convince me that whoever worked on the Batman Who Laughs hasn't seen this.
Of course,
yeah.
Of course.
Yep.
And you got and this is that first Judge Dredd story. Again, you got counterculture everywhere in here. It's all over the place.
Oh yeah.
My name is Death. I have come.
It's
to
very
judge
much
you.
a classic Dredd tale, if not the classic. That's why they had Judge Anderson in the Carl Urban movies. They were setting up Judge Death for the sequel.
Well, that would have been fabulous because that was. I mean, that was the better Judge Dredd movie without a doubt, and I did enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't take his helmet off, which is really important.
Because Carl Urban knew the character. Yeah,
there was a lot of fan service in that, and it was very good.
Truly,
It was a little bit too sort of because it was obviously based on that. Is it a Japanese film?
From what I understand, the scripts were both done pretty close to the same time.
Yeah,
that was The Raid.
The Raid is very similar to The Raid.
Yep. Very similar.
So it was a kind of a bit more sort of grounded. It was a bit, rather than being science fiction-y, it was a bit more action thriller, crime thriller kind of thing.
Well, it was a great plot device in order to show not just the judges off, but to show the conditions of Mega City 1, because he only climbed up one block in the whole movie. It was also a way to keep the budget down too.
Exactly. Whereas
Lena Headey was the main villain in that.
If they went to a Judge Death film, it'd be full on sci-fi.
Yep.
You know, like they would go for it.
There would be a lot more effects that they'd have to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I could see that. I would love to see that being done and start out with the Boeing story as just an incident that happened. And then many months later, here comes Judge Death, and then they have to use Boeing in order to. I thought that was incredibly clever.
How good would that be? That would be great. Mind you, the thing is that filmmakers they'd want the Dark Judges. They go straight to the Dark Judges. So
you leave that for the sequel to the sequel.
Yeah, they'd mess the story up, you know.
Yeah, they would. That's Hollywood, though.
But I have any faith in it.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is it. So you got down the bottom here. You got he's saying gaze into the face of fear, and then you get gaze into the fist of dread.
The greatest panel in the entire series.
One of the most fantastic panels in comic books ever.
Yeah. To the fist of dread.
Yeah, and I think Brian Bolland sold NFTs of that panel.
Really?
Right at the start of the NFT craze.
I don't blame him.
Oh, I don't either. If you had to pick one, that would have been it.
Gaze into the fist of dread. Bang.
Have it.
No sound effect needed.
I'm going to say, if that had been an American comic, it would have said splat or something.
Yeah, they
ruined it.
It's a crunch. Yeah.
Or if it was the 80s, it'll be Crack-a-Doom.
Yeah.
Crack-a-Doom.
The old John Workman thing.
Not that I want
Don Martin flub-a-dap, right?
Yeah.
Flab-a-dap out the back of his brain.
Flab-a-dap would have been perfect.
Not that I feel particularly confident doing this because this is Brian Bolland's artwork. I've got But that was my homage.
Oh, yeah, nice.
There you go.
Smash.
So
Yep.
He's taking out 2 guys out, and he went straight for the.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, you see, that's perfect because on the left, Bolland has Death getting hit. You have Death doing the hitting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like have
Gaze
it.
into
Yeah.
the fist.
I saw what you did there.
Yeah.
So yeah, enough of putting myself up against the master. There's just no point in doing it.
Now, which of the horsemen was he? Was that War?
It was Fear.
Fear.
It'll just make me cry. Right. Let's get on.
Look at that.
Dead World.
Going on here.
Look at that mouth above Anderson's hand at the bottom panel on the left. That
Yeah.
stretched mouth. Look at that.
Right, stretched
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Well,
Look at
just
that.
look at that expression. It's just so restrained. Whereas, like American comics would have had her like some sort of Kirby-esque pose with her feet about 8 feet apart. Her back about ready to snap itself in two. This just shows he with the minimum of effort on the model's part here. Bolland conveys everything you need to know to get that story across.
Yeah.
Without exaggeration.
You're saying she'd have had a feet 8 feet apart. What kind of comics are you reading, Brian?
The really crappy ones, apparently. The kind I'm trying to get rid of now.
Beautiful lighting down here.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
That tower on the left is very organic, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
The spider out.
Well, I'm looking at the right-hand page, bottom one, right by your hand, right there, right.
Yeah.
The flames and everything.
Yeah.
On that panel there on the left, where you see the judge with all the flames on his body and the trident and everything, that is just like, wow.
Just as we've got into here, because this is starting to get later on now. This is after he's done an awful lot of artwork by now. The confidence in these pages is oozing.
Oh yeah.
The blacks, the shade, just everything is just so good.
Well, to do that much work that quickly, and I know Bolland is a meticulous artist and couldn't do a sustained monthly book.
No.
But, at the rate that he's having to produce to get a weekly comic story out, you've got to get better as you're doing it.
Well, I would imagine that they overlapped, so they had more time than just a week to get their 5 pages done. But it's like a volume of work, isn't it? A volume of work where he's constantly improving and working things out, and just this is just apex stuff. Apex stuff, like it says at the front of the book.
Look at that face.
Just both these pages.
Oh, the lighting.
Look at without sounding crude, look at her bum. It's like the way that she's sitting there, the anatomy, just and then gripping into the bones there.
Yeah.
And how they're walking away here, and like he's holding himself because he's injured, but the casual nature, the weight in their bodies, just oh god, oozing brilliance.
Let me just tell you something that Brian said. You see that page, the right hand page where the death is screaming, where he's going Brian will have done that lettering.
Yeah,
he said he tended to. He couldn't remember all of it, but he thinks that he did that kind. You see it in a lot of his strips, that kind of lettering in the background. He would do that.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, this is part of the panel. This is. I don't consider that lettering even. That's just.
Yeah.
That's just the part of it.
It's part of the composition. Everything drags right to the center there with that lettering, the way it's arched.
Brilliant. Oh God.
Just fantastic.
How to make a grown man cry.
Yeah. There's those helmets again with the guys with the big machine gun.
Yeah.
There's that rubber cement ghost left behind there in the bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you look at that where the page divides. Because I remember seeing the original that you go right down the center there, That's a great cover because you see just the tips of the barrels firing at Dredd and everything.
Right.
Then you turn to that left-hand side, which would have been the back cover.
Yeah.
And then you see the reason why. You see all those gunshots and everything. And look at that expression on that woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just can't find that kind of expression in a lot of artists.
No.
You can't find this kind of art.
No.
Yeah,
no.
exactly.
Very true. There we go.
Yeah.
Another iconic image right there.
Lovely, beautiful color art there. And this is so funny. So what's the cure? We don't know. Max Normal.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
This is from Block Mania. There you go.
Look at Dredd's neck. The way again, he's wearing that costume, isn't he? He's
See that
Yeah.
tension in that neck. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
true.
fantastic.
And not overdone.
Yeah.
Oh, look, rain in this.
Nick again.
Lord,
Judge
Look at
Griffin. Yeah. Block Mania.
good Lord.
Another classic story.
Look at that.
Just look at him, the cycle.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
Again, the lines.
In the rain.
Not
In the
having-
rain.
No lines, just
Yeah.
leaving them white for the light.
Yeah.
We saw that a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? In Erie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
like they say those same techniques that are, you know.
Could have been a whiteout pen. Could have been.
I think he's just.
He just
drawn
left
the
it.
pencil
He
and left
just
it.
he doesn't use white out. He just draws it like that. Just
Oh.
fabulous.
Really?
Yeah.
How
Wow.
bloody good is that?
Yeah. I was thinking maybe he used a razor blade across those. I know that's what a lot of
could be
American
too, yeah.
artists do.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
What's he doing? Drowning him.
That's what you do to perps.
Yeah.
That's right.
Justice by any means necessary.
What's it say at the top there? Quincy Street. Left on
Quincy
Left on
Street.
page.
Yeah.
Quincy Street. And he's whacked him. That was a mistake, wasn't it? Whack.
This is great. Was it? Fortunately, you won't be around to witness the end. Who says, "My legs"? Ah, curse you, mega city judge. You've not won yet.
Look at that expression on the right hand page there, in tilting his head back. The next to the last panel.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the one before that, it's just iconic right there.
Yeah.
The lawgiver and him looking down.
It's
Just
face
phenomenal.
there.
In the rain again. Just great stuff.
Mm.
There we go.
Look at that. He's
Look
tough,
at
but he's fair. That's a real. That could be a mad cover, couldn't it?
Yes,
could
it
be,
could.
You know, that's what's he called? The guy. What's he called?
Alfred E. Newman.
Alfred E. Newman.
Alfred E. Newman. Yeah, imagine his face on there. He's
Oh
so
God,
fair.
yes.
But again, look at Dredd's trousers. He's wearing those trousers.
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
He'd be saying, "What me worry?" That's what he.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the way the nose bends on the guy.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
bent off.
It's got
Again, what-
weight to it. It's great.
What a great annual cover! Dredd, Strontium
Yeah.
Dog, and Rogue Trooper all on the same cover. Just great.
Yeah.
And the composition on that is crazy. It's going all over the place.
Oh, look at that.
Just beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's tapping that stick, isn't he?
And he's
Well-
he's using some different techniques as well. It's not all
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah. Really pops that leather though. On the
Yeah.
It's like he's saying, "Okay, you've literally had your shot."
Yeah,
I'm now I'm
exactly.
coming," and he's
Yeah.
tapping that stick. He's
My
not, even,
turn now.
he's not even got his gun out. He's got his stick. So you're
That
going
was-
to hurt. You're
that
going
was
to
from-
hurt, aren't you?
That was from 2013.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if that's. I doubt that's digital. He said that he's been saying everything he's been doing has been digital, but
You never
that
know.
doesn't look it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
Wow.
thing about Bolland. He was one of the first artists
Well,
that
no,
I
there you
noticed
go,
that
look.
it doesn't look digital.
This isn't digital because you
No.
can see where he's got the page.
Oh, okay.
So this is definitely not digital.
Well, that's
Might have
cool.
even been painted, considering how the background looks.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
all painted. Yeah.
Yeah. He
Oh,
did
that's,
all
there's
that
no digital
straight up.
colors in it or anything. That's a painted
Yeah.
piece. Yeah. And
That's
same
a
with
poster. That's a poster right there.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
That's like the
It's-
chicken fight.
Is that
Chicken.
Steve there off the event?
I was going to say, is that John Steed?
Looks like it, doesn't it?
Little tip
That's
of the hat.
Max Normal again.
Yeah. Good well be. Max
Yeah.
Norman.
They used Max quite a few
Blab on.
times.
Flabon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Flabon. I forgot about that.
He's a fat
Chicken
man.
He's
Are
everywhere.
you looking
He's
at my
everywhere.
chicken?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that one. That's Brian.
Oh, I
Wilson there, isn't it?
remember those two.
Talking
Amazing
to him.
heroes.
What a great piece.
I love the way he used to draw. I mean, I don't know. Just the way he used to draw the chin and the bottom lip, and they'd always stick out.
Can't you see that first film should have been Arnie and not Sylvester Stallone, though?
Yeah.
Keep your helmet on.
Again,
we know who you
it's
are.
all a bit. Yeah.
Would have been
Really
a
need a
great
muscle
film.
man for it.
Yeah. Would have been a great film if they'd have stuck to the
The
property a little
Titan
harder.
Eagle years. There
Yeah.
you go.
So
Yeah.
roughs for covers.
Pencils, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. It's worth it just for that.
Yeah.
They should be full-size pages.
Oh, I wish they were, yeah. Oh, you've got some good stuff coming.
That might actually be actual size on that. He
Oh,
might have
yeah.
been doing
Yeah,
smaller
maybe.
roughs
Yeah,
to
I
get
see what you mean.
approval for
Yeah.
finished drawings, especially that Eagle Comics. That was a really big cover over here in the States.
Prelim cover sketches for Eagle Comics presents the Judge Child Quest 3 and 4, and Eagle Comics presents Judge Dredd Monthly 1. This is the prelim sketches for Titan Book editions of Judge Dredd Crime Files, Judge Death, and Judge Caligula Book 1.
Sadly, with those Eagle reprints, they were pretty popular over here, but because of the format of the artwork, they took it and stretched it vertically
Oh God, yes.
in order to fit the comic page, and it really it just bugged the crap out of me to see it.
It's that Judge
Yeah.
Caligula there. That's the
Them and Sal Q Productions or Sal Q Comics afterwards, they take them and stretch all of that 2000 AD material, and it was just heartbreaking.
And the coloring was god awful.
Well, that was the plastic plate era. Marvel's
Yeah.
coloring was also incredibly bad at that point.
Oh yeah, yeah.
this is just wonderful.
But just beautiful covers. I mean,
He
amazing.
is
yeah.
the law.
That had a
He is
bright
the-
red background on it, bright yellow lettering.
Oh yeah.
Phenomenal. Yeah. Bounced off against Dredd, blue and gold. Just
Mhm.
great.
You can feel the weight of that guy,
Oh,
can't you? When he's holding his vest. You
Yeah.
can feel the weight of it going down.
Oh, there's something special's coming.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
There we are.
It's
Yep.
Just the ink work in this.
I love that cover on the right. That is so funny.
And once again, I'll say it. Economy of line.
Yeah.
It's just like it's just done so well.
And I'll say once again, to me, it's ruined by that word bubble.
Come quietly, or else
Not
there'll
just
be
that, but
trouble.
look at how it's wrapped around the logo.
Yeah.
The cover is just amazing.
Yeah, I mean he's drawn the logo into the artwork
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just fabulous. And again, this one as well.
That's
Different
literally
kind
the
of
high
thing.
point of the book,
Yeah.
right there at that cover.
Yeah.
Is that a Venus flytrap person
Yeah.
there with that leg
Yeah,
sticking
yeah.
out there?
Yeah.
Just sort of the leg. Poor guy.
His little foot there.
Oh no. 8 feet apart. It's one of them films.
Yeah.
What's the balloon say though? What does that balloon say? on
Come
that?
quietly, or else there'll be trouble.
I
Exactly.
love
Presumably,
that.
a reference to
That's
Robocop
Dredd all over.
there.
Yeah.
Oh God.
What's that?
And again, two more great covers.
Look, has he got a tutu on that guy on the left?
Yeah. Look at his face. He's
Yeah.
got the tiniest face.
Yeah.
It's like a DR and Quinch.
Yeah.
Quinch face
Yeah.
right there. Yeah.
This is just.
He's got his foot on the guy's head at the bottom.
Love-
Yeah. That's Judge Dredd down the bottom there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love the shot on the right too.
Look
Just
at the
amazing.
ropes as well on Dredd. Look at those ropes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Spaghetti.
And the ropes here as well. This is
Mm-hmm.
just brilliant. Again,
Look at
perspective, wonderful
Wow.
perspective.
Reminds me of that Black Panther cover that had him in the jaws of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Remember
Oh,
that?
yeah,
I think Bill Graham drew that. Beautiful, beautiful work.
And
Yeah,
this-
there we are again.
This
Yeah.
for it.
Just phenomenal work.
Any one of those would have been okay, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
But that first one, that's your dynamics right there.
Yeah.
The bells.
Yeah. You can tell what story was reprinted in that issue.
Yeah.
Wow.
Again, the gravity in here,
Mhm.
the foot you can see
Mhm.
falling.
And just that little tilt makes it just that much more dynamic.
Yeah. Brilliant stuff. And this was the story we were looking at earlier where he cut his leg.
Mhm.
That's the cover from it, In the Rain. This guy was
Looks like Blockmania is getting out of hand.
It's got like a little rubber ring with a duck on it.
Yeah. Look how the punch, his head is going in the water and it's splashing up.
Yeah. It's a lot of great
Wow.
touches. Look at all the line work in the background too. It's just amazing.
Oh, look at
There
that.
you go.
Wow, there's some serious
track.
work going on in there.
Mhm.
It works, doesn't it? He knows
That that's all line work there too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's all cross hatching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes you want to go dig up those issues.
Yeah.
Again,
But don't look at the insides.
Slightly different approach to the inking on this.
Those are all books you could slab.
Mm-hmm.
Just to keep the cover.
Yeah.
I wonder who's got that artwork because Brian said he's not got a lot of his Dredd stuff.
It's hard
He
to
sold
say.
it all.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
Look at
this
that.
is early. This was one of the first stories he did, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There was he also
Russian
did
judge.
the one on the moon, the Moon Olympics.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look at the guy's teeth, Dredd's teeth there, and that Yeah, look at the.
Yeah, like knowing how many teeth somebody have in their head, because that's a bit of a
32.
bugbear for me. There's a lot of artists who seem to forget how many teeth you actually have.
Almost from this perspective, it almost has a Basil Wolverton look to it, to the one on the left.
Yeah.
But that's because of all the beautiful line work and stuff.
Mhm.
It's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened to the speech bubble on that one on the left.
Didn't need it.
Yeah.
Where are you going to put it?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I get
Yeah.
but that cover isn't telling a story.
It doesn't
Is
have
it?
to.
Yeah,
No,
but
but-
you wonder who he's yelling at.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it could be any story.
Yeah.
It could be
True.
absolutely any story.
Yeah.
So you don't need a bubble on
He's
there.
shouting popcorn.
Popcorn. There's no bubbles on these, but again, these I'm not sure. These are Eagle Comics Presents, so they're reprints.
Yeah.
So they've got lots of different stories in.
Yeah.
Whereas the 2000 AD covers were pertinent to the story for that week.
Mm-hmm. Well, these were all Dredd reprints here out of 2000 AD. Yeah.
I think the other thing is as well is that putting a lot of these word bubbles on 2000 AD and UK comics were actually quite funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whereas the ones on the American comics and the Bronze Age and what have you, they were more instructive of the story and a bit more serious. Whereas these are always tongue in cheek. This is Satanus. This is your last chance to surrender.
Yeah.
And that's funny. Okay. And come quietly or there'll be trouble to a massive plant that's eating people.
But that's
funny. Do you know what I mean?
Dredd, though. Dredd is dark humor and social commentary.
But exactly. But that kind of stuff was on the front of 2000 AD all the time.
Oh yeah.
All the time.
Is that the Russian edition?
Yeah. Comrade. Oh, I like potatoes. God, this is just a sketch and how much you can see of it. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a very, very, very fat man. And this
Those trees.
Mm-hmm.
He's got his name on the tombstone. It says Bolland.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Wow.
Yeah. With the N round the wrong way.
I think he always did that.
Did he always do that?
Yeah.
All right, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, economy line, beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
Not overdone, just graphically beautiful.
Those trees are incredible.
Ooh, mushrooms.
Oof.
Yeah.
Time's ticking by, kid. I mean, wouldn't get away with that now, would you?
Look at the way he's just sitting there waiting.
Yes.
And again, he's wearing those boots. You can see
Yeah.
his ankles bone through them,
and
that kid's face.
the weight in his stance, the way he's sitting.
Mhm.
I always used to think Judge Dredd was Batman. You know what I mean? He was a bit like a vigilante type.
Futuristic Batman. I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, doesn't take any prisoners, literally, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, they weren't very happy with each other when they did meet.
Yeah, those were great.
They were fun. They were good fun. Because it's like Batman, you've got no ID and you're in a crazy suit and you're taking the law into your own hands. I am the law. Do what you're told. Okay.
Yes.
Whereas Batman's like, I'm getting shit done. Okay. I'm taking the trash out, and that's the end of it. And they come to an arrangement. They appreciate each other. They don't like each other's methods. Okay. Because like you're a fascist, Judge Dredd. And I'm not a fascist, I'm Batman. But it's like they do come to an arrangement, and it is good fun. It's good fun. Again, it's good fun comics. Don't take it too seriously. Don't look for too much in it. What a
another classic cover. Classic cover.
He's drawn some quints in here. And he's got all those characters. Look at that face.
Yeah.
Of what was his name? I can't remember his name.
Blanking.
Oh God, yeah.
Was it Boer or something? It was.
Braun.
It was like a German kind of name, wasn't it? His sidekick. Funny little thing that ended up with them for comedic value.
I'll go get it. I know the comedian guy was always grasping at his chest and complaining about his heartsease.
It's just wonderful, wonderful stuff.
Yeah, let me go get a Judge Dredd book. I'll tell you who he is.
For me, that left-hand page with the ape on it is the funniest caption. And for smashing biplanes 40 and he's pointing at him. Look, he's just,
the ape's like, you couldn't see the ape's like 40 years. Are you kidding? his eyes are just fabulous.
It's brilliant.
Just brilliant.
And Dredd's not bothered, is he? He's just sitting there on his back. He's not troubled at all with this 600-foot King Kong coming at him.
Dredd's the law, mate. Dredd's the law.
Yeah. That strontium dog face there. He should have been
strontium dog.
Oh.
So Carlos Esquerra was obviously the first artist on Strontium Dog. He did such a brilliant job.
He was on Dredd as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he did such a brilliant job. And you'd think, how can he be followed? And yet, Bolland has followed both of them.
Well, seeing that Strontium Dog, I think I'd like to have seen Bolland do the strip.
Yeah, I'd have loved to have seen him do so. I mean, I mentioned this the other day. As much as I love Carlos Esquerra, I consider Bolland to be the definitive Judge Dredd artist for me. Just he did everything right. And although I'd have loved to have seen him do some Strontium Dog, I can say that Esquerra is the definitive on that. He's as well as being the creator, he did the best art on it. Wolf. That's it. Wolf.
Okay, that's it.
Was it Wolf with a U?
Yes.
Was it Wolf with a U?
Yeah.
It is. WULF. Wolf. Yeah. We'll go through some Strontium Dog here eventually with the great Carlos.
VR and Quinch again.
Yes.
So it got a very Joker vibe, that, hasn't it?
Yeah.
The way he's moving, it looks like that Killing Joke thing.
But that was that Alan Davis that did that?
Yes.
Originally? Yeah.
And the homage to Showcase 4 on the left.
Here we go. Here's a future shock. This might have been his first appearance.
Could have been his first work.
Yeah.
It says this is the early stuff. Okay.
There we are. Yep.
And you can see how he improved. Because there's a little bit of dodgy anatomy on here and a weird face. This guy's face is a bit weird.
This whole anatomy is weird in that one.
Yeah. But he's just but the rendering is all there.
And the layout.
Yeah.
Wow.
Flight simulator test conditions. Oh, so it's like the whole point of this Future Shock is he's like, oh no, I'm in trouble, and he ended up he's just in a flight simulator and he's gone bonkers.
And it's only been in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Now, what I love is on the bottom of the left-hand page, thrill factor overload. Keep calm.
Keep calm. Keep calm.
Russ, just go back a page on that one. What's that beam? Is that beam whiteout or?
That's crosshatched. So yeah, it's a white.
Wow.
It's white out at the front. It does look like he's used a paint or a whiteout, although the original line may well have been drawn with a pen, and then it's all the way back is crosshatching.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4 angles by the looks of it.
Wow.
Wow, what kind of control does that take?
Yeah,
it's just amazing. Just the guy is stunning. And then Walter the Wobot, friend of Dredd.
that's probably in an annual 2080 annual.
Maybe, I don't know.
He had some solo stories in the regular comic too.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not saying
did.
you're wrong, Randy, but
There's a script robot, Joe Collins. You know Joe Collins?
no.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that Walter the Wobot was in the general prog. Not always, but more Walter the Wobot. Friend of Dredd.
1-page fillers, yeah, probably.
Yeah, just fillers. It's like...
I can see if it's
When
different
don't they-
writers on those, I can see the editors of this using them the way they use the Future Shocks, for new talent.
Yeah.
But this is I mean, they might not have. It might all be Joe Collins, just different writers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be a house name.
The actual, house name. Yeah.
A splurge gun. Ha ha.
Better that than a splooge gun, I guess.
That's just
And
what I was
next-
thinking.
All of it's in character. Next prog is Death of a Wobot. And then in the next prog, the origin of Walter. Release Brian.
Yeah.
Have we got a Reginald?
A
No,
Reginald,
we've got no
yeah.
Reginald. Release Brian. Release Brian. Next prog, quiz show. I didn't have to worry about the W in that. But they wrote quiz with a W. So
Yeah.
I am a nump. What? I am a mump. I am a mump. As against I am a numpty. They always like to put Hitler in every now and then. Hitler did turn up quite a lot.
It's such a recognizable feature, though. Or character.
He shot his wig off. Well, we robots have to stick together. There you go. Oh, there's a lot of water in here. Oh, that's
Quasimodo again.
unfortunate. Yeah. Ain't got nobody.
The early years, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look
You
at
know,
the right lower left-hand panel. There's your Don Martin for you, Randy.
There you go.
Look at
Yeah.
Look at the left hand page. 3
Yeah.
wiggle pigs.
There we are.
Yeah.
Three
Three
wiggle
with-
pigs.
Yeah.
Here's-
That
I
is
can
Don
cure
Martin
that
right
hump,
there.
don't you? What hump?
The what? Oh, yeah.
If you're gonna homage the best. There we
That's
are.
right.
Don Martin.
This is brilliant.
Yeah, it is.
Flub it up.
Flub it down.
Yeah.
It would have
there
been good
again.
if you'd have put a flabbergap in there.
Yeah, it's there again, isn't he, on the bottom panel? Left. Don Martin is there again, opposite the credit. Keep going.
Yeah, and also
That
in the
one,
final panel.
Yeah.
Enough, Igor. The great Frankenheim has no time for trivia.
Frankenheim.
It's his name. Oh, so these two were connected. There you
That
go.
must be the mad scientist phone bone.
Yeah.
It's great.
Time Walter left these grave wobbing creeps. He even thinks
Yeah.
with a speech impediment. That's fantastic.
Elmer Fudd right there.
Yeah.
I'm hunting wascally wabbits.
Oh, right. Okay. This was a 4-parter. Good lord.
Oh.
It's like look at this dead body. And they just lumped him off. Wonderful gravity there.
Next, the switch. What is it? The switch. The what's the next prog?
Next
Switch.
Pog, the
Next
Switch.
Pog.
One previous was next Pog, the Switch.
The
They
Switch.
both said the Switch.
Right.
Now they've stopped putting the W's in the next Pog. I think they've been complained to.
Oh dear. Bless.
People were triggered even back then.
Yeah, Mary Whitehouse wouldn't have been
always wanting into trouble.
Twubble.
We're done again.
Loving the way that he's just popping this in next to these totally realistic drawings.
Yeah.
Oh no, they put it back in the very end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps
Must have been a lettering glitch then.
Oh right, so Igor has been transformed because he was supposed to go into the guy that got shot off, and he's ended up going into a teddy bear.
Yeah.
Ho hum, ho hum.
And it says that
it's Ted all over again.
Perhaps a cup of fresh synth calf will brighten your day.
the very end.
Very end.
The very end. Obviously, they didn't do any more after that. Light touch on the inking on this one.
Yeah.
Maybe had to do it quick.
I was going to say, perhaps deadline.
Oh,
was creeping up.
Oh yeah.
Spinball.
Spinball. Early prog.
Don't know what size these are. Again, yeah, similar. Yeah.
Is that taken from Death Race 2000? Is it Rollerball? I mean,
Rollerball.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did something else.
Dave Gibbons drew a lot of. They had a IP called the Harlem Heroes.
That's the one.
it,
Harlem Heroes. Yeah.
That was very much rollerball.
Yeah.
Very close to that too. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a Harlem Heroes story or a spin-off from that era. Yeah.
Ooh,
that guy getting hit. Yeah.
Hurts that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Smacked.
Dang. Yeah.
Yep.
Lovely face there.
Yeah.
He shot the ball out of a cannon on his bike with spikes on the wheels, of course. Mm-hmm. Even though as you go around there, everything's very flat. The arena's like made of metal and you've got spikes on your wheels. It's like,
for extra traction.
That ain't going to work. That ain't going to work.
No, ours is not the reason why. Ours is just to think it's cool. So, and enjoy it. Yeah.
There's more of this. That's lovely.
Look at that. Almost like a judge's helmet there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he was obviously being looked at for all this at the time.
Penkoff.
Spinball. That's from the Action Annual, 1979.
Oh, there you go. That's real early stuff then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was wondering why we didn't see any writer-artist credits on that.
Yeah.
I think that
he's got a cover for Valiant.
Cover for Valiant.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Ming the Merciless there in front.
Yeah. Again, there's the Joker.
Joker
face.
Yeah. It's just like Rubber Man or something.
Yeah.
It's a summer special biography. So perhaps it's saying this little bit in the back. Perhaps the most popular 2000 AD artist of all time. I can understand that. Brian Bolland's clean line style and meticulous attention to detail ensure that his artwork on strips, including Dan Dare, Future Shocks, Judge Dredd, and Walter the Wobot, looks as fresh today as it did when it was first published. Mm-hmm. Co-creator of both Judge Anderson and the Cleggs, Bolland's highly detailed style unfortunately precluded him from doing many sequential strips, although he found the time to pencil both Camelot 3000 and Batman the Killing Joke for DC Comics.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Look at that.
There you are. Yeah. Go back to that Valiant cover real quick. One page back. We want to let folks know that was too hot to handle, too good to miss.
That's right.
If you look at where the tick marks are, when that gets trimmed, it's going to take the top line. Can you see?
It is, yeah. Yeah, they've not done that well, have they?
No, it's going to slice it right.
Trim that off. It's going to slice some of that lettering.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Look at that.
There we are.
Lovely.
Fantastic line work there.
Look at the cross hatch on his his beard, his fuzzy, his sharp,
No dental work on those teeth either.
Yeah. Wow.
Just phenomenal.
And the fold in his face down the side of his nose and his mouth. You can see it, can't you? You know,
Yeah.
the skin.
Feel it. Yeah.
It's fabulous. Absolutely amazing.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about dental work because it's 2000 AD, isn't it? I mean,
It's a clone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
the future.
absolutely.
It's the future.
In the future, there is no cavities. Yeah.
No,
That's right.
no. Cavities.
Not for the
dude.
higher class. Yeah.
Just wonderful stuff. I mean, you can't get much better than the Bolland, if at all.
Oh, listen to that crack on that.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
It's a big old book,
That's
that
better
is.
than opening the book and having the pages
Yeah.
fall out. I've
I
had
did
that.
some
Yeah.
weight training with that book. That's bonkers.
Blocks are
That's
under
great.
arrest.
Now, do they have other volumes with some of the other artists?
No, not that I'm aware of. I think they might be doing a Kevin O'Neill one.
Okay.
That,
But
yeah,
it's not.
honestly,
I don't know that it's the same people. This is Rebellion that have published this.
Yeah.
But
I'd like to see Cam Kennedy Rogue Trooper.
Yeah.
Or
don't.
Dave
Yeah.
Gibbons Rogue
Yeah.
Trooper.
I don't think that it's like a series. I don't think it's
Okay.
necessarily repeatable.
they could
It wouldn't
easily do
surprise me if
Halo
they do.
Jones like that too.
But somebody's got to get all the artwork together. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So you need an editor who's prepared to go out and do it all. And that's how I found out about this book, was because the editor was on Facebook talking about it. So
Oh.
that's the only reason I found out about it. I didn't even know it existed, and I jumped in there as soon as I knew. Same with that Buscema. I have a Buscema book which is a similar size.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing with that.
That was probably IDW though that did that.
Yeah, I can't see from here. but
Well,
yeah,
in the
probably was.
future, we'll probably look at one or two of those. Jason
yeah.
Moore has been buying a bunch of those up. So
I've got a smaller one as well.
Yeah.
This is the one I was talking to you about, which has actually got like his biography inside.
Oh,
It
nice.
Yeah.
talks about the early years,
yeah,
but it's got some lovely printed material in here as
Yeah.
well.
Jason
some of
just
these.
bought a tremendously large book, probably about the size of the 2000 AD from Tetchin,
Right.
about the history of EC comics. That's in a beautiful
Oh.
slipcase. It's big and
Nice.
thick. Looks about that size. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have a lot of this work. There's some beautiful Conan
Oh,
work
yeah.
here.
Look
I
at that
think I
pasting.
have a fair amount of that in the big book, the one that's
Yeah.
this size. So
Sweet.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
I'll
and
tell you what,
something.
what's a shame? Sorry, Brian. What's a shame is that John Buscema book there. I don't know. I might be wrong here, but way back in the 70s and early 80s, people or companies or whatever didn't have photocopies to take copies of the pencils. So
No.
we
Yeah.
lost the pencils,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Very
Yeah.
rarely, and a lot of times they gave those photocopies of the pencils out to potential inkers to see how
Yeah.
they would handle the
And
job.
also, when Kirby went to DC to do the New Gods, his son Neil had just got a job at Xerox. That's why we've got pencils from then, because he literally took them to work and got copies.
So I mean that
DC didn't
book,
get those copies.
that book is bloody huge.
Yeah.
This one is slightly smaller, but this is the one we went through
nice.
a while ago.
Right.
Come to
That has the fold out.
Oh, nice.
It's got the original,
Fold out pages.
original size fold outs.
Isn't it nice when they spend some money doing that?
Yeah.
That must cost money to do that.
Yeah, it does. They have to bind that in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, this is an utterly gorgeous book.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's just,
Oh, nice.
Red Wolf.
Well, yeah. Well, we're talking about these art volumes. Ollie's has just done some of the DC ones, like Andy Kubert and on Flashpoint.
Your Ollie's, maybe.
My Ollie. Oh, yeah, my Ollie's did. Sorry, Randy. But they've got several of those hardcover DC volumes from about 5 years ago.
I got this book from an Ollie's in Bay City. It was $6.99.
Let's see it. Ooh.
Oh yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Look,
Now,
Hold
what
on,
makes
I
that
can't
the
see.
deluxe
Hold on.
edition, Randy?
let me see again.
All bound.
All ready.
all bound together.
That's a pretty
Yeah.
book.
Now, is there extra pages or stuff to make it deluxe, or is it just because it's hardcover?
I think it's just hardcover. It's there's extra. There's a few drawings in here.
Oh, man.
A few production
Sweet.
shots and roughs.
Nice, nice, nice.
I
Like
didn't
what-
realize Dick Giordano inked the 6th chapter of this. I was just looking through it earlier. Just amazing work.
Oh, that's right. Well, Dick would sometimes ink like key issues because he knew he'd get like the royalties on it.
Well, no, not just on this, but because it was Bolland. He's like, all right, I want one of them at least.
That's right.
Give me one of them. What one? In the middle. Give me the number 6. I'll take that one. So,
yeah, because I'll get some of the original art back.
Got a Jeff Hawk reprint with a beautiful Bolland cover on it.
Ooh, cool.
Counts. This Jeff Hawk was a comic strip.
Yeah.
Ran for many, many, many years. We ran it here in the Flint Journal for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Only Bolland didn't do the interiors on that, but he sure did do that cover.
Yeah.
Look at
Who
all
did the
different-
interiors? Would we know the
different
name?
aliens. That was Willie Patterson, Sidney Jordan, and Willie Patterson.
Okay, I know Sidney Jordan, but I don't think I know Patterson. Oh, okay, yeah, that's lovely.
Let me
Looks like
pull it to the
David
middle.
Lloyd stuff, doesn't it?
A lot of duo shade work on this. Just beautiful. We can look at this at another time, though.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
Look at that. That's almost Bellamy right there.
Yeah.
Very much so. I'm sure that everybody was trying to reach that apex at that point because of his Garth work.
Oh, that's nice.
Just beautiful work. Anyway, and another book that I wanted to show to Russ before we end the show. I don't know if you've ever seen this or not, but there is a collected volume. I think I picked this up for like $5 at Ollie's. But it's Weird World.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if
Warriors
you've
of
ever.
the Shadow Realm. Is that the Buscema?
Yes.
This is all of the good Weird World material before
Yeah.
they took the property and completely screwed it over something terrible.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's got the beautifully but horribly colored Plug story in it with the plastic plates, but it's also got all of the Buscema. I think it was Peter Ledger painted.
Yes.
he was having fun with that, wasn't he?
A bit of Avatar in there, isn't there?
All of the Marvel fanfares that Buscema did later on with Weird World,
Mm-hmm.
and that they reprinted that in Marvel. They were going to do a Weird World series, but they ended up putting it all in Marvel fanfare. There was 3 issues, I think, at least of it. But it's all of the good fantasy Weird World material. Got it for like next to nothing. So
Nice.
you might want to check around on eBay.
I
You might
picked
be able
up Star Lord,
Yeah.
and because I wasn't aware of the first story. Steve Gann.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
wow,
Philippine artist,
love
yeah.
his work. Love his work.
Not just that, but that's got all of the great Star-Lord stories in it. So you get a
Yeah.
little bit of
Yeah.
John Byrne, Terry Austin. I mean, a great bit of John Byrne, Terry Austin,
Yeah.
Chris Claremont. But you also get a lot of Infantino, which is kind of some of it's a little shaky here and there. I'm
Yeah,
sure they went
bit
through
weird.
and touched that over for the reprint version because a lot of that had the girl running topless in it.
Yeah.
I remember specifically looking and going, those aren't what real breasts look like. But anyway,
How far apart were her feet?
probably 8 feet. But it ends with a great 4-issue painted series
Yes.
by Dan Lawless. That's just absolutely
lovely.
beautiful.
Yeah.
You can't get better than that.
Steve Gann's work reminds me of like some of the combat magazines over in the UK.
And
it's got a classic style to it.
It does. Yep. And folks, if you haven't seen them, they're available on Amazon. They're called the Judge Dredd Case Files. You'll get a lot of that material reprinted in an incredibly thick book, at least 50 or so installments of progs. It's 500-600 pages thick, and it's got all of the Judge Dredd stories in order. And if you want to see the Brian Bolland material, you'll want to pick up the first 2 or 3 case files of that and read those in order. Make sure it's got the Cursed Earth story in it. I think there's only 2 progs that aren't reprinted in the case files, and that's the notorious Burger Wars stories where they had Ronald McDonald type character fighting a Burger King type character, and they got a cease and desist on their copyright infringement.
If you were really lucky, you might have bought one of these back in the 90s.
I've got that one. Yeah.
Yep.
Just as an aside,
they also do thick versions of Strontium Dog, Rogue Trooper, Flesh, Nemesis, and it's all beautiful stuff. And the value for it is You can't match this, even with the Showcase Presents. This is $25.
Oh,
and you can get
cheap.
these on Amazon easy. And look at how thick it is. The Strontium dogs are practically all Carlos Esquera. The Rogue Troopers, the early ones, are all Dave Gibbons. Just phenomenal stuff.
So
these are the
out.
English versions too. Those are also available here in America.
Pick this out of the bookcase. Batman 3D. There
Yeah,
you
I've
go.
got that.
Oh
one.
yeah.
With the 3D glasses still intact in the back.
There you go.
Yeah.
This has got Dave Gibbons and Cam Kennedy in it.
Yeah, Cam Kennedy.
Can't go wrong.
I think he's the definitive Rogue Trooper artist.
Rogue Trooper artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Great stuff, folks. We hope you've enjoyed yourself as we've looked over a little bit of Brian Bolland today and a few other artists. Brian, tell folks how they can find you.
Right here, risingtide.pub. It's got a connection to all the stuff we do, our broadcasting and our books, and just anything I've got my fingerprints on. You can access it right there, and you can sign up for my free monthly insider information newsletter. So check me out.
Cool. Glenn, tell folks how they can find you.
You can get all my books and magazines on Amazon. You can get this from me. My trip to Jack Kirby's house comes along with a DVD of me talking with him. You can also see me in the pages of Comics Unlimited, which is a 100-page magazine I publish every few months. And there's Mr. Bolland.
Here we are.
and soon I'll be publishing the second issue of Hatch, my comic creation. I'm not sure which crowdfunder it's going to go on, but it's going to hit once very, very soon. And you can find me on these podcasts.
Great. Russ, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me in the pages of Batman magazine across Europe at the moment. Also, Only Death Can Save Us, which is close to being finished now. There you go.
Yay!
Sweet.
Smash.
It's very, very close to being finished now. I mean, the last throws, the colours, the letter's already done. It was going to go out to print next month. But also you can pick up an edited version of book one from New Haven anywhere. Basically, online you can pick it up. Anything else you can find out about me from my website, russleach.com. Please sign up, follow me on Instagram. That's the place where I post my art. And if you want to find out more about what I'm doing, please sign up to the email list, which you can get to from the website. All the links to all my social medias you can get from the website, russleach.com.
Sweet. He said, making a hard reach. Here we go. Folks, I've been your host. I'm Randy Zimmerman. You'll find me here every Friday morning along with Russ and Glenn and maybe Brian and maybe even Scott Rosema if he bothers to show up, or whoever else we can get here to look at great art. Here at Comics by Night, we go over a lot of great art from a lot of masters of sequential art. I implore you to go back and look at the Indie Comics Network. We're all archived over there. There's like 3 episodes on Steranko, 3 episodes on Burns Elsewhere series. We just got done finishing off Eerie Archives Volume 1. And maybe next week, we'll do a little Simonson Manhunter.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I can give that book back to Jason so I can borrow more of his stuff.
Sweet.
Look at it here and drool over it. But that's also another great volume. You can find me over at aerocomics.store. I've got a lot of products over there like Herobot Zero, which there are 2 issues out of. Paragon, which is a superhero story I wrote with artwork by J.R. Harris that I would really love everyone to read. I'm very proud of that story. Revolt Anthology, which has got Glenn in it. Issue 2 will have Russ in it, and usually a story or 2 from me in it. And Calico of Shard, that has artwork by C. Michael Lanning, who also does Dispatches from Outside the Box over on the Indie Comics Network. That's a great fantasy tale that I hope everybody gets a chance to see and read. But other than that, aerocomics.store, go over there and look at all of the other great stuff. You'll find me next time, probably Glenn, probably Russ, maybe Brian, if he can set his alarm and be here. Sunday morning at 9 a.m., where we do the Sunday funnies, 9 a.m. Eastern time, I should say, where we do the Sunday funnies, where we talk about the stuff that really inspires us and puts a fire in our belly in order to do the work that we do. This Sunday's episode, decided to call it Old Farts Talking Comics. Here we go.
I feel targeted.
We're all targeted. Let's all be triggered at once. Maybe we'll talk about our...
Russ has just joined us, Brian. He's just realizing now he's getting old and getting cranky and,
gray hair.
Yeah, I've been that way since I was 8.
Yeah. It's born that way. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Remember, everybody, we just want a piece of cake. Want a piece of cake. We'll see everybody soon. We'll be back next Friday morning for Comics by Night, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So happy to do this. It's so much fun to do. So make sure if you get a chance, go out there and check out Brian Bolland's work. Go out and visit your local retailer and go through those boxes that hardly anybody goes through anymore. All those great back issue boxes. There's a lot of gold to be found out there. The majority of it is incredibly reasonably priced. So sooner or later, we got to do Darwin Cook eventually.
Oh yeah.
I got a couple of books of his, and Alex Toth the same way. We'll there's a lot more great artists coming up here on Comics by Night. Deeply appreciate everybody watching. Any last words from anybody? No. Buy alternative and independent comics, especially ours.
Especially mine. Forget everybody else. Mine.
Oh, just yours? Okay. Arrowcomics.store, folks. Arrowcomics. You can pick up a copy of Only Death Can Save Us. Now, please pick up a copy of Only Death Can Save Us, #1, from the Arrowcomics.store.
And remember, everybody needs a good editor, so.
Everybody.
Yeah. Brian will tell you where to find one.
That's right.
Folks, take care. Have a great week. We'll see you next time, Sunday, 9 a.m. Indie Comics Network, over on my Facebook page. You can always reach me. I'm very accessible. So, always wise up, folks, please. Let's do that. We'll see everybody soon.
See ya.
We'll go out with a couple of ads and our opening as we go out the door. So take care of everybody. He said, stalling for time.
Have we actually finished on time?
1 minute over.
There is no such thing as on time for us.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be. Any time is good time. The nice thing about these shows that I'm told from Indie Comics Network is when folks start watching, they just keep watching. So, and that's the whole thing. It's longevity and how long that we keep them here in their seats.
Restrictive capitalist construct.
There you go. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that love button. Tell your friends if you enjoy this program. We need more subscribers over on the Indie Comics Network. We need to get monetized, just so we have to really watch what we say and what we do, and so that we can take super chats.
And be careful with those feet.
Be careful with them feet.
I'm gonna have to get myself a swear jar.
Yeah.
Hey, might actually make some money that way.
Yeah,
that way.
I need a swear cauldron.
Take care, everybody. We'll see ya.
See ya.
Take care.
Have a question or comment for us to address on the show? Have a topic you want us to talk about? Email us at indiecomicsnetwork@gmail.com. Want your comics to arrive in pristine condition? Head over to GeminiComicSupply.com and save 10% on your next Gemini mailer order or anything in the Gemini Comic Supply store. Use coupon code RAGIN10. That's RAGIN 10.
You were talking about swear boxes.
Hit the button and it just will never go through. Oh, there we are. You've started one.
I started one.
Is that your
You got notes in there because you had just one long tirade. You just
these actual pound notes in there. I don't think they're worth it. I think they're sort of redundant now.
Goes on Dan's complaining about his editor.
Can I just say that I didn't drink one drop of this stuff?
Okay. Anyway, back when I was actually employed at an art shop, I had a bottle out that I ran off a little bit of vinyl and stuck on there and started putting my pennies in it. And on the vinyl it said "Impure Thoughts," and the boss made me take it home.
Oh, gosh.
I don't know.
Where I had further impure thoughts.
Yes. Anyway,
Brian
the jar is full now. By the way,
Brian had impure thoughts with his feet.
There we go. We're still on the air, by the way, folks.
I like
Look,
that we have
everybody's
our own
entitled to be an
end-credit
idiot.
sequences. They're great.
Don't be mean. We don't have to be mean. Because, remember, no matter where you go, there you are.
He's a cyborg now.
Yeah.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
How dare you?
Get off my lawn.
Can you hammer a 6-inch spike through a board with your penis?
Not right now.
A girl's gotta have her standard.
You pay it!